Welcome to our channel where today we're diving into the assassinations that shook the world and changed the course of history forever. The 20th century, an era of tremendous innovation, revolutions, and wars. But as nations rose and ideologies clashed, the power of a single bullet or a hidden plot often had the final say, altering history in ways no one could have predicted. These assassinations weren't just shocking, they sparked global change. So, buckle up, because we're going back in time to explore the most notorious assassinations that defined an entire century. Our story begins on June 28, 1914, in Sarajevo. Archduke Franz Ferdinand, heir to the Austro-Hungarian throne, and his wife Sophie were gunned down by a 19-year-old Bosnian Serb nationalist, Gavrilo Princip. It seemed like a tragic, isolated event, just one more spark of unrest in a tense region. But this assassination was the match that ignited World War I, dragging the world into a conflict that would reshape borders, topple empires, and set the stage for the 20th century's bloodiest wars. The Austro-Hungarian Empire was already on shaky ground, and Franz Ferdinand's death exposed the deep ethnic divisions within. Soon, countries across Europe found themselves pulled into a war that no one truly wanted but couldn't avoid. The war that followed this assassination would see the rise of communism, the collapse of monarchies, and a brutal redrawing of the world map. And while empires crumbled in Europe, another empire teetered on the brink in Russia. Enter Grigory Rasputin, mystic, healer, and the man who became a shadowy puppet master over Tsar Nicholas II and Tsarina Alexandra. Rasputin's power terrified Russian nobles, and on December 30th, 1916, they decided to act. His murder, poisoned, shot, and finally drowned, was supposed to save the monarchy, but instead, it sped up its collapse. Less than a year later, the Bolshevik Revolution erupted. Tsar Nicholas and his family were executed, and Russia fell under the control of Lenin and, later, Joseph Stalin. Speaking of Lenin, after surviving the chaos of revolution, he became the face of the new Soviet Union. But by 1922, Lenin's health was failing, and rumors of foul play spread. His official cause of death was a stroke in 1924, but whispers of assassination lingered, fueling suspicion and paranoia in a nation still grappling with its new identity. And with Lenin's death, the stage was set for Stalin's rise, ushering in a regime of terror that would grip Russia for decades. Across the world, similar stories of violence and betrayal echoed. In Mexico, Emiliano Zapata, a revolutionary icon, was gunned down in 1919 after being lured into a trap. Zapata's death was a devastating blow to the fight for land reform. But even in death, his legacy became a symbol of resistance for the oppressed, rallying cry that still echoes today. But not all assassinations were confined to the early 20th century. Fast forward to 1968, Memphis, Tennessee. On April 4th, a single gunshot silenced the voice of one of history's greatest civil rights leaders. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. King had championed nonviolent resistance, fighting for racial equality and justice in America. His assassination by James Earl Ray, a known racist, left the nation grieving, and the civil rights movement forever changed. Not too far away, just a few years earlier in 1965, Malcolm X, a fiery leader advocating black nationalism, was gunned down during a speech in New York City. While Malcolm X and King stood on opposite sides of the nonviolence debate, both shared the same tragic fate, becoming martyrs for justice. Across the ocean, in India, another iconic figure was assassinated. On January 30th, 1948, Mahatma Gandhi, the father of Indian independence, fell to the hands of Nathuram Godse, a man who opposed Gandhi's vision of a secular India. But even in death, Gandhi's message of peace and nonviolent resistance lived on, inspiring movements around the world. The century wasn't done with political shocks just yet. In 1963, America was once again stunned by tragedy. John F. Kennedy, the nation's charismatic 35th president, was assassinated during a motorcade in Dallas. The chaos that followed, Lee Harvey Oswald's arrest, his own murder by Jack Ruby, left America reeling. Conspiracy theories about JFK's assassination still persist, and the loss of such a promising leader remains a defining moment in U.S. history. And we can't forget Yitzhak Rabin, the Israeli prime minister who had fought wars but dreamed of peace. On November 4, 1995, as Rabin stood at a peace rally, he was gunned down by an Israeli extremist, opposed to his vision of a two-state solution. Rabin's assassination shocked the world and remains a haunting reminder of how violence can shatter even the most fragile of peace efforts. These assassinations aren't just footnotes in history, they're pivotal moments that shape the course of nations and ideologies. Each killing set off a chain of events that rippled through time, from world wars to civil rights movements, from the fall of empires to the birth of new political orders. So, what can we learn from these tragic moments? History shows us that while violence can steal great leaders, it cannot kill ideas. Those assassinated figures left behind legacies that continue to inspire, challenge, and shape the world we live in today. If you enjoyed this look into history's most impactful assassinations, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Let's keep exploring the stories that made history and the people who changed it forever. Thanks for watching.